Hey everybody, Jeff Evely here out in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. It's another brewery, blustery day, but not if you are a husky. And I was just commenting on Pierre Poilievre's appearance on the amorphous Rosemary Barton show the other day, where he was asked about the Bondi Beach massacre that just took place down in Australia, where a couple of jihadis unloaded about as much ammunition as they could possibly carry into a crowd of Jews who were gathered for a Hanukkah celebration, and he said this was an act of hatred and this was an act of terror. And this is reminiscent, I think, of the 2016 Pulse nightclub shooting in the United States. At that point, it was the worst mass shooting in American history. A jihadi went into a gay nightclub and shot dead 49 people. Obama came out and said this was an act of hatred, this was an act of terror. Hillary came out and said this was an act of hatred, this was an act of terror. And then Donald Trump came out and said, we need to do something about radical Islamic terrorism, and shame on you guys for not being willing to state the problem. How are we supposed to solve our problems if these people won't even name them? And this is what makes Pierre controlled opposition, folks. He stays within the woke guardrails and allows the left to exercise veto over his expression. He can't say radical Islamic terror. Pierre Poilievre is a practiced polished professional politician. It's what he's not saying that you need to pay attention to. So he won't say radical Islamic terror, and he wouldn't even say immigration for that matter. We never used to have anti-Semitic hate rallies in the streets of Canada before mass immigration, and he wouldn't even say that. This was an open net, and he refused to take a shot because he doesn't want to be called names by the left. And this is the guy who pandered us right into Bill C-4 to jail any parent who doesn't want to give their child a sex change because he's afraid to be called names. And this is what makes the Conservatives in Canada controlled opposition, is that they stay within that progressive paradigm. They accept all of the progressive premises that carbon is somehow a pollutant, that gender is a social construct, and that jihad is an internal struggle. As a proper right-winger, I will say that carbon is a trace atmospheric gas essential to all life. Gender is a biological reality, and jihad means holy war against non-Muslims. That's not to say that there are no peaceful Muslims. Absolutely there are, and we have allies within the Muslim world, but the faith itself is in need of reformation. We need to empower reformers and make allies and keep building those relationships, but we're not going to get anywhere as long as pandering Pierre is unwilling to state the actual problem, and we are all left more vulnerable to these kinds of attacks in the future until we have politicians with the spine to meet these problems head on. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Have yourselves a